Hello everyone and welcome to All Things Hadar. I hope this finds you doing well. For those of you who are new, welcome. We're so glad that you have found us, stumbled upon us, sought us out, that you're here, that you've joined us. We hope that you enjoy the channel, it resonates with you, and you choose to become a part of this channel. If it resonates with you, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, to like, subscribe, do the notification bell, and if you know someone who could benefit from the message or the channel, please feel free to share. This does help me, it helps the channel, but it also helps us as a collective, and it helps to get the messages out to those who may or may not be Hadarian, but that could use the messages or information. Okay, so these are the decks that I was guided to pull for this reading. I don't know if we will use all of them, one of them or whatever. And then, of course, I have several other of my tarot decks out, and there are a few other decks that I have out and ready to go. And yes, for those of you who are returning, thank you guys so much for being here, for your support, for your showing up. Greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And let's see here. I apologize because normally, we have education popped out along with sacred pool. Take care of the self. Learning and educating yourself could be about self-care, what it is that you may need at this time. Anyway, I was going to say I apologize. Normally I have the boxes empty and the deck's already out and already pre-shuffled. And I, as you saw, didn't have that done yet. So you can either fast forward to where I actually start dealing the cards, or you can just continue to let it watch and play. Napoleon, no. Stay down. He's just so insistent sometimes. He is such a big baby. It's funny because days like today where it's rainy and just a good day. Oh my goodness, please stop. A good day to just be cuddly and all that. And it's funny because on days like that, he just wants to cuddle. Even more than normal. So it's just cute. All right. So what are we doing first? What deck are you wanting me to? We're going here first. And what are we looking at here? Are we looking... Okay, so I'm getting, we're asking about what archetype is not serving us and what archetype are we being invited to consider bringing in. Okay, so let's look first at the one that we need to release, to let go. Always take only what resonates, leave the rest. Thank you. Interesting combination. Okay, so the first one out was vampire. And when this is in the shadow side, we have depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. So, and let me just say this, okay? It's not about becoming aware of this stuff to beat yourself up for it. It's not about thinking you're, this horrible person and yada yada. We're all learning. We're all growing. We all have our journeys. But once we become aware of something, knowledge is power. Action is empowerment. Knowledge is power. Action is empowerment. So, you know, once we become aware, you know, am I depleting others? Am I dependent on other people's energy in order to feel good, or in order to cope, or in order to do with whatever this is for you? Or are you chronically complaining about stuff or ruminating about things? Whether you're speaking it or thinking it, it's still then there in your energy, right? And then, of course, again, it talks about that energy of codependency. So this is one of them that we're being invited to let go of. Okay. And then the other one that came out is Exorcist. And the shadow side of that is fear of facing your own demons. And I feel like this is like such an amazing pairing. And I know we can all have these preconceived beliefs, notions, even experiences that have been traumatic or whatever that we attach to words, okay? But I would invite you to maybe just try to have an open mind in looking at what is the information being presented here. So there can be this challenge. It's often a challenge for many of us to face our fears, face our fears, face our things that we know aren't balanced or aligned for us, but that we continue them because we don't want to deal with it. We find it scary. We find it overpowering, overwhelming, over too much, right? Just too much. It's too much. But it's not really in reality. The bottom line is when we become aware of something, oh, okay, I see. I'm afraid to face my challenges. I'm afraid to face those dark sides of me. I'm afraid to face those things that challenge me because I'm either going to have to make a conscious choice or decision to do nothing about them and continue on, or I'm going to choose to do something about it, or I'm going to choose to just kind of pick at it and say I've done something about it, but I really haven't really done the work in its entirety on it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, again, everybody makes their own choice, their own decision, free will, free choice. But we are being offered an opportunity here to become aware of the things that we're utilizing, where we're drawing on other people's energies to feed our energy. And this doesn't always mean that you are doing this in the sense of you like to be happy, so you surround yourself with positive people, which is still, and you draw their energy, which is still sucking their energy out, and it is still, you're interfering with your journey and you're interfering with their journey. And then also the energy that you're putting out isn't authentic energy. I hope that makes sense. So, but the other part of that is there are people that just where they are in their journey and in their space, where they have a lower vibration, they complain, they're not happy, they ruminate on a lot of things. And it's one of those, I forget who said it, it's some philosopher, but it's, miserable, as they say it in Lady and the Tramp, one of the dogs, when they're in the dog pound and they're trying to dig their way out, it's like miserable beings love more miserable beings and then they're happy. So it's almost like that energy of we surround ourselves with people, or we call in people who have a negative or a harsher energy, because we can draw energy from that as well. And then that feeds us in staying in our ruminating, in our imbalances, in our things that we don't, that aren't aligned for us. And again, it's not about judging yourself. It's not about judging anybody else. It's about when we become aware, again, knowledge is power, action is empowerment. This knowledge gives you the power to make a change if you so choose to do that. Taking the actions to do that is very empowering for you. Now, what that looks like and getting that help can be different from person to person. And I would say it's about you discovering what is it that works for you if you're so choosing to face your fears, face your challenges, face the dark parts of you that need healing. Light attributes, we got the Knight, we have loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. And I don't feel like this is about in a romantic sense of you and someone else. I think this is a lot about falling in love with the self, honoring the self, respecting the self, having loyalty for you, standing up for you, fighting for you, having that chivalry for you. I'm hearing one more, so let's see what else comes. That was going to come out, but it went back in, so. Yep. There's actually two here. Nice. Okay, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So we got a gambler on the bottom of the deck here, and it says in the light, it's a willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. Because again, this isn't about anybody else. This is about you and your journey, right? These are the things we're being invited to step into. We also have detective, the light attribute here. It is great powers of observation and intuition, a desire to seek out the truth. So again, seeking out the truth for yourself can be very, very healing, especially when it is about the self. Now, for some of you, maybe it is about a relationship. Maybe it's about seeking out the truth of a relationship between yourself and someone else. But I do feel that it is more about the self, because our relationship with ourselves is going to be what has a very strong influence on what our relationships are like with other people. And those of you who have worked with me have heard me say, you know, it's time to put on that detective hat, right? And start asking those questions, really learning who you are and what it is that you need, what is aligned for you, what's not aligned for you, what are those things about yourself, those dark parts of yourself, your demons, your challenges, however you want to label that is for you, and now's the time to look at those so that you can heal them, so you can release them and move forward. We do have this beautiful goddess energy that came forward, and I feel like this is saying, you know, doing the work, doing the detective work, being the knight for yourself, about yourself, being willing to take that challenge and take that chance, even if other people's. So maybe there's more than one person in your life that are basically naysayers around your path, your journey. And, you know, I mean, let's face it, for most of us, that's a part of it. That's a part of that journey. But I do feel that they're showing us that, yeah, this goddess energy is what's waiting for you should you choose and decide to go through this. And if you're a guy watching this, just understand we all have masculine and feminine energies, right? We all have that spark of, you know, God, source, universe, spirit, great spirit, whatever that is for you, is within us, as well as the goddess energy. It is about balancing the masculine and the feminine. And I feel like, again, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. It feels like this is about healing the feminine side. The feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. So now I would look at those words that they use to describe that and ask yourself, you know, to start out with your detective work, ask yourself, so, you know, do I have any shadow pieces? Do I have anywhere where I'm pulling on someone else's energies or somebody else's beliefs or somebody else's way of doing things, even though it doesn't align with me, that have to do with my feminine side or have to do with how I express myself and that feminine energy? What I've built my wisdom on or around or through, What is my relationship with nature? That, you know, again, with my life force, with my sensuality, what are these things looking like that are needing that support and assistance? But so this is what we're being invited to work through and process and release and let go of, so that and we can step into our goddess energy. And these three, the knight, the detective, and the gambler, are how we can get to this goddess energy. All right, let's keep moving. All right, is there anything more you want to say about the vampire and exorcist, please? Is there anything more you want to say about the shadow sides of these for our viewers? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, boy. Hold on. It went to the floor. Oh. It's always a challenge to try to get that. Okay. And this one. Nice. All right. So first one out, we have the Magician and the Mirror. And again, see, it's about balancing the fire and the water. It's about the masculine and feminine, right? Being able to balance these energies. It's about, if you look at the mirror is interesting in here. I would say it could be about what is being mirrored back at you from someone else that you're not caring for, that is a trigger for you. Using your detective hat, that could be one of the things that maybe is for your attention, for you to look within and say, okay, is that something that I'm doing? And it is going to take being holding yourself in enough in high regard, not enough, in high regard of honor and integrity to be honest with yourself. Sorry, had to get a drink. Because a lot of times we can play the game of, well, no, that's not me. Well, I don't do that, you know, but in reality, it's like, this is what's being shown to us so that we can become aware, so that we can release it. We have the ability, the power already to transform, to manifest what it is we are wanting, to shift and change. And I do feel that, again, what came out next was door to personal health and happiness, and it was in the reverse. So I would say that being in these energies, and then should you choose to not do anything about it, or, yeah, I know I'm like that and I'm okay with that, well, then just understand that it's having an effect on the door to your personal health and happiness. And at this current time, it's not aligned for you. It's not serving you in an aligned manner, I guess I should say. But again, you have the power here to transmute that and to shift it from being that over into this and getting into your goddess energy. All right. What else do you want to say on this side with the knight, the detective, the gambler, and the goddess? What else would you like to share? Further the message and the understanding. Look at that. See? And then you can go from this financial constraints. Door to value. Talk about transformation. Talk about transformation. Look at that massive difference. Massive difference. This can really shift the quality of life that you are able to obtain. Not only from a financial standpoint, but I mean, a lot of people don't like to talk about money, but let's be honest here, because, or I should say, in my honesty, this dimension at this time has money is one of the very basic foundations of this reality, and how it functions and how it allows us to move within this reality. we all know that if we have this as our experience, it's really hard to invest in the different things that can help support us to shift. That doesn't mean we have to have money to shift. That's not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is that having money offers to us ways to be able to support and help ourselves in a maybe in a more rapid way, but in a way that we otherwise wouldn't be able to. For instance, what if you are in this journey and in your detective, work, you find out, wow, I could really use learning more about whatever. Okay, fill in the blank there. And yet when you start doing your research then to find out, okay, so how do I do that? Where do I find this information? It's, can I purchase this book? Or I found a coach that can do this, or I found this person, this professional that does that. But again, if you're looking at this, it's kind of hard to access those kinds of opportunities. But it does have to start somewhere. And I find it interesting because the Magician in the Mirror is 53. The door to personal healing and happiness is, and I think I said health and happiness early, but it's healing and happiness, is 34. The financial constraints is 13, and the door to value is the flip of 30 from 13 to 31. But we've got threes and everything. But yes, so I mean, the bottom line is that you have the power within you already to be able to transmute this stuff and flip this around into the upright and go from having this kind of experience to this kind of experience. And it can be talking about money and finances, but it can also just be talking about the richness of life and your various life areas. All right, I'm trying to find places to put these. All right, let's look at these. Okay. Let's go for over here. What do we have for this side? Thank you. I believe in myself and my abilities. Believe in myself and my abilities. Very important part of the process there. Okay, and what do we have for on this side? This is a lot of work. I feel like there's belief work that this is giving us a hint and a clue to. One of the things is in the detective searching there, right, is maybe for some of you there is a fundamental belief, whether you're aware of it or not, that I don't believe in myself. I don't believe in myself because fill in the blank. I don't believe that I have these abilities because fill in the blank. My abilities are fill in the blank. And that can be, how we talk ourselves down or how we talk ourselves up. Or just, I don't know. I don't have, so then you're looking at being disconnected from that. Right? So again, that's why the detective is very important. Doing the self-check-in, doing the work, seeing what we can discover about ourselves, for ourselves, and looking for those answers, seeking for that healing and that growth, right? And then we can take that and go, okay, this is the person I'm going to go to, or the program I'm going to do, or the book I'm going to read, or just the inner searching I'm going to be working on for myself, whatever that looks like for you. And this is where I'm going to start with what comes from those detective questions of that introspection. For on this side, we have today, I am filled with energy and overflowing with joy. And it's very astrally there, very cosmic. And I would also say, for some, this could be about meditating. For others, it could be about yoga or some form of movement, that either gives you centering, grounding, calming, inner peace, focus in some way, shape, or form while you're doing it. And it doesn't have to be something necessarily that you just sit to do and like in meditation, or it could be something, it could be running marathons. It could be, you know, whatever that is for you, whatever it is for you. It doesn't even have to be, some people, you know, they can go for a walk. They can, I keep getting things about needle points. I don't know if there's a viewer that has something around sewing or needlepoint or embroidery or something like that. But this isn't the first time that's come forward. Anyway, whatever is your form that lets you, I feel like grounding, focusing for you, that it lets you think clearly, because doing this lets your mind stay clear of the other things while you're doing your detective work. For others of you, this is specifically about your form of movement, your form of meditation, your form of physical care that is going to support you in this journey of getting to this goddess energy and the door to value, and learning how to open your door to healing and happiness. Let's get another one for this grouping over here, please. Thank you. Look at that. My thoughts become my reality. So I would say for some of you, there's definitely would be beneficial to check in with yourself. Be consciously aware of what you're thinking. And when you're thinking of something that is just in a way that is not aligned, not serving, that is very negative in the self-talk, self-thought, self-walk, right? Then be aware of it. Go, oh, okay, yeah, I see what that's about. I see how I worded that. How can I shift my perspective about this? How can I look at this possibly differently that will make a difference for me, that would be more aligned? I'm trying to think of like an example, but yeah, just there's a lot that you could do with that. It does take practice to get to this place and space where you're going to be willing to be conscious aware of what these thoughts are. Look at this one. I love and accept myself as I am, and everything works in my life. Now, notice the mouth. This is what we say, and what we say is what we think. So, and that means, you know, not when we're trying to sound good to other people, or, you know, this is when we're being in the detective and we're being true and honest. And if you heard that and you went, yeah, right, my life doesn't work with, you know, blah, 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 and you go on to this whole thing, write it down. Don't judge yourself about it. Just write it down. Write it down, because that's a belief, that is a perspective, something that is keeping you in this heavier energies. And it's finding those ways to better support yourself. Okay, guys, this is your reading for today. I feel like this is where it ends. I feel like we have become aware of some things, and we've been shown the steps on how to do that, and where we're wanting to go with this, and what we're wanting to create this into the upright. We're wanting to get to the space of having that door of value open. We're wanting to transmute things, step into our power, our energy, and our empowerment. We've got movement, detective, and asking questions, doing our detective work within the self. You've got the Knight, standing up for you, being loyal to you, falling in love with yourself, and honoring yourself with chivalry, with integrity. Be willing to take that chance. And maybe being open, and it doesn't matter if others believe in what you're doing or not, because this is about you and your journey and what is working for you, and doing more of that. and what's not working for you, understanding it, healing it, release it, let it go, move on. And when I say understand it, I'm not saying that you have to be in therapy for you know, years to try to figure. No, it's just, it doesn't have to be that drawn out, I don't believe. But that's just my opinion. That's not you. You come up to your own decisions about that. But we have this potential to bring in some balance and alignment to our goddess selves, learning to love and accept ourselves, and even seeing how where we've hit those challenges and things, and we see now, or we will see eventually, how that actually worked for us. It may have seemed like our darkest, you know, our dark night of the soul. It may have seemed like our biggest Mount Everest challenge ever, but once we get to that other side, we can go, wow, you know, it wasn't fun. It's nothing I want to repeat, but yes, I should not, but, and I can see how that pushed me to do some digging, to do some looking within, to change my life, to change my reality, to change my vibration and frequency. So I feel like you've been given the steps. You've got the directions of a direction to head towards that you may want to go to, or not. That's, again, your choice, your decision. You've been given some clues as to, you know, what is at play here, and that you have the power and the ability to do this. So there you go, guys. Until next time, bye.